Afternoon, everyone. Welcome to review. We're here doing another at-home workout sample, just to give you some ideas what you can do with the stability ball today. So I have my TKO somewhere around here, right here. 55, I believe it's in centimeters. 55 centimeters, I believe it is. Anyways, anti-burst ball. And also I'm lying on a Spree workout mat. It's a commercial grade. So this one, it's super dense, so that you can do like standing things on it and not be so squishy. Some of these exercise mats that I find that are out there to buy, even they also call them like yoga mats too, and they're really not. They're a little too squishy, so it's kind of like some of them are super slippery too, and this one is not. I just bought this one, had it delivered this week, so it still hasn't had a chance to completely flatten. And there's links in the description for the gear that you can purchase on your own, but so far they're fantastic. They have two different lengths for these mats. For taller folks, I think it's about 72 inches, and then this one for those not as tall, I can't remember but you can look it up for yourself. It's there listed. So anyway, and this ball is for about my height range. I'm about 5'6", and they have different balls for different heights. You know how it is. There's a 45 and 55. I believe there's a 65, and then for the super tall, but 65 is, I think, 6 foot to 6'3". So something like that. So anyway, what we're going to do today is we are going to do some ball bridges with straight legs. We're going to do some ball leg curls. So bring the ball to you in and out. And all these are facing up. And the last one, though, is prone face down on top of the wall. We're going to do some reverse hypers. So those can be, I'll show a couple of different variations. Both you'll feel back of the legs, so you feel glutes and hamstrings for both of them. Anyway, so let's get started. Okay, so anytime you're working with a mat, although this one's pretty sticky, so it might not slide, because they like to slide, these mats. And if you notice that everything's on top of the mat, your ball too, and you're trying to do like a curl where the ball is moving, there's going to be a slide. Let me see. On here, it's pretty firm. It's pretty firm. So I'm thinking that it's not going to slide on here. So that's excellent. So anyway, but the bridges, we don't have to worry about that. So we're just going to lie down and put our feet on top of the mat. And so what's funny is here on the carpet, my ball is slippery, right? You see that? So anyway, just something to think about when you're working with a ball and you're trying to balance. Like if I were doing a ball crunch on the carpet, I would be more mindful getting up, because the ball will slide out from under me. I've seen that happen with actually quite a number of clients. So anyway, I'm going to stay here, leaving the ball off, and see if I don't slide. If I start sliding, I'll just pull the ball onto the mat, so it'll probably be better. So my feet, I'm just going to have they're hip width spaced, and I'm going to make sure that I keep my knees and toes pointing straight up, not letting them fall off to the side, right? So here we go. You can use the arms on the earth, just leave them here, and then it's up and down. If you're new to this exercise, you can go up and then come all the way down to the floor, right? And just help yourself out each time with not having to worry about the balancing part. And so the heels are pressing into the ball. You feel glutes and hamstrings all the way up. Of course, pull the belly button in too, so you get bonus of the core going up and down. And this one you can do sets up to 20, up to 25 if you really felt like it. But at some point, you might want to consider, maybe I can add a little bit of weight, like an ankle weight, something that'll lie flat, but that's not so solid that it'll just hang out here and you don't have to worry about it too much. You can also like put the hands here and hold the weight still. So if you were going to hover, it's up, come down, don't touch. Yeah, you see the hover? See the hover? And then up, come down, don't touch. right? You just keep moving it just like this. And that's a lot more balance. I feel a lot more activation of my hamstrings and glutes too. Nice little stretch there. So, okay, so definitely for the next one, I'm going to move my mat down so that my ball can track on top of this mat. And this is the shorter of the spree mats. I do have a longer one. It's just not here yet. So if my head's off the mat, it's okay. I'm not going to die. So if my head touches the floor, all right, this angle's okay. So anyway, so now we hold ourselves up in the bridge. Maybe a little bit more ball. So we're going to bend the knees, pull the ball in. If I leave my hips down, it's going to be a lot more hamstrings. A lot more hamstrings. And that is a lot of hamstrings. But I can also drive the heels into the ball and kick the butt up and get a little extra glute activation too. So that's what this looks like. So we're here, we bend the knees, kick up, and that is a lot, right? And then back to the bridge. Bend up, back to the ridge. So trying to do that as one unit. Oh, yee. Just like that. And that is strong. And that one, you can probably do the same numbers. In terms of being weighted, probably not. But what you can do is you can attach some of the rubber bands to the ankles and attach it to a door where they have the little attachment that you can put in there and pull the weight in and out. So it's definitely going to feel a lot more resistance that way. If you had something that you can attach to the ankle with one of the rubber bands that you see at home. And they do sell them. Okay, so next one. We're just going to move to our face down reverse hypers. So reverse hypers, glutes, hamstrings still. A little bit of core too. With all of this, there's a little bit of core as well because you're balancing on the ball. So the balance comes from, yes, all the little muscles in the legs, but you know, stronger leg muscles do help too. But the core, right? Everything starts with stabilizing the core. So we pull the belly button in. So here, I'm going to shift a little bit forward so that I'm not so heavy here or so balanced here. If I was here where my hips and shoulders are right on top of the ball, this is if I were going to do something up here like a regular hyperextension because it's my center of gravity is more on top of the ball. So I want to shift a little bit forward so I can pick up my legs. So I'm going to go somewhere here. My toes are still on the floor. I feel if I were to let go, I would come forward, and that's a good spot for me. So straight legs up and down, up and down. So this one, I've had a couple of clients that maybe didn't have enough exercise under their belt, so they didn't know exactly what they were doing here with their legs. Like there was no mind, there's no bridge with the nerve and the mind and the muscle. So you could start with one leg at a time, going up and down, just to see, to build that bridge, strengthen it. Of course, alternate to the other leg if you're going there. And the numbers for this one can be up to 20 as well. It's whatever. If you're doing both at the same time, you can do it with legs apart, up and down. All right. That's kind of just targets. A different spot in the glutes, you can bring the legs all the way flush together, up and down. And here you get a bit of inner thigh, holding the legs flush together. And then just somewhere kind of in the center is hip width distance with your feet, and then up and down. Yeah. And yes, my feet are pointed. For me, it helps me to feel my legs long. But if you're doing this and you're in the middle of an exercise program, you probably have your athletic shoes on, which is fine. You can still try to point the foot or just not even worry about it. If you want to flex the foot up, you can go there too. It just kind of takes the calf out of the way because it moves the calf into a stretch. right? But then, of course, it brings in the soleus. But since we're targeting back body, you might as well just point the foot and work a little bit of the calf as well. Okay, so there's another version of this one where you can take the legs around the ball. And when you stretch the legs up here, this is a different version of a reverse hyper. It's basically more glute centered. Right there, a lot more glutes. Up here, wow! You feel the glute ham tie-ins for sure, but not so much hamstring and calf. I feel, but I say that for me. You might feel your hamstrings, but for me, I definitely can feel the glutes a little bit more, but maybe I've been exercising a little bit more than you have. So anyway, you have a few exercises there that you can do. Ball bridges, I call them bum lifts too sometimes, because most of the exercises have the name of what you're doing. So you're lifting the bum. Kind of makes sense. Straight leg bum lifts on the ball. Or just ball bridges. Second one was the ball leg curls, bringing the ball into you. Different versions of that depending on how much you want to bring into your exercise. You can bring in more glutes. You can bring in more core when you kick it up really high. Try to move as one unit, and that's a lot of hamstrings to get you up there. That stronger version. And then the last one, we did our reverse hypers, different versions of that. Straight legs, apart, together, mid space, pointed foot, flex foot with the straight legs, or just this frog version where you kick the legs up. You can even kick them up and let the inner thigh close, but I like keeping the space in between my knees just so I can really hammer in the glute ham tie-ins. All right, so that's going to be it for today. Hopefully that helps you in some way. Thank you for joining me, and until next time, keep moving, keep exercising. Exercise is therapy. This is going to help us to stay strong when we're not our strongest, when we're older in life, right? We're always preparing. Thank you. Bye-bye.